always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the daunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Hello, welcome to 8 Years Open Conversation, which is a night talks flashy political platform through which trending political news, events and stories are discussed with stakeholders. Now, through this conversation, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party system and actors to explore hope and engender positive impact to the society. Today on ATN Open Conversation, we're starting from River State. All of us who want to maintain our political structures. This is coming from Yesu.
And on presidents, we have President Tinubu intervenes in Fulbara Wike crisis, sues for peace.
In Imo State, the Supreme Court defers a hearing on appeal to invalidators of the mass years in office.
From Bayelsa State, we have INEC says it will court order on Silver's case.
On November 11, INEC National Assembly assured of credible elections in Bayelsa, Imo, Kogi State.
Picking up from Nation Building, we have PDP Governors Forum deliberates on issues of national concern.
In politics, NNPP stakeholders defect to APC received by Gandhi.
Party politics, we have Wike will destroy Tinubu's government, make people dislike him. This is coming from Timmy Frank.
I guess on the show this morning, there's Dr. Obidima. He's an international affairs analyst, a public affairs speaker. Well, he is here this morning as a social political analyst. Stay with us. Come back to you after the break.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank.
POS operator, she said 50,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the daunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank.
POS operator, she said 50,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the daunting. Who can come and
Are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the daunting.
Obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the daunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
conversation, everyone. Now, let's quickly welcome a very old Dr. Obidima. Obidima, good to have you on ATN conversation, sir.
Vivian, thank you very much. It's a delight to be with you this morning. Good morning. Thank you very much.
So let's run with the issues on the show today. The Minister of FCT, Barrister Wike, alludes that the ongoing political crisis in Rivers State is a party affair and every politician will protect their territory. The minister who spoke during a delegation of South leaders paid in a courtesy visit in Abuja on Tuesday said it is a party affair. The party knows how to resolve through their own mechanisms. It is not an ethnic affair. According to the minister, our party is looking into it. That is what I will say. Every politician has his own interests. The minister further said, anybody who knows me knows too well what I would never take is threats. You know me, I would not agree. If heaven would come down, let heaven come down. We can insist. I've seen all kinds of abuses on social media. I said I won't talk. I know in politics, he said he should be bringing 20 billion every month because somebody did not give you 20 billion naira. But nobody said this when I was fighting. Nobody said that. But I said, if you like, accuse me from here to here. I won't even have a sleepless night because as far as I'm concerned, the right thing must be done. All of us want to maintain our political structures. Would you allow anybody to cut you off immediately? Everybody has a base, isn't it? If you take my base, am I not politically irrelevant? At the appropriate time, we would know who is right and who is wrong. Okay. This is when the delegation went to meet with him. So one would think that, I don't know if this is before or after the meeting with the president, because Bala Mohammed, a part of what we're going to discuss after that, said, the president is suing for peace and is asking everyone to. But the concern here is, everything stated by Yusuf here, I don't see how it is wrong if you look at it on the basis of interest. Politics is about interest. So the man is basically saying, I'm protecting my interest. And if that is the case, how is the protection of his interest a problem? It alluded to the 20 billion every month that is circulating on social media that is asking the governor to be giving to him every month. I don't know how true, how realistic that is. But we'd like to bring you in here to have you elucidate further on this.
Well, Vivian, in fact, it's not even politically correct. That of issue of protecting interests and social and all those things. I believe that that is even pediatric and pedestrian. I thought he would have been more diplomatic in addressing this issue and trying to defend himself. And he has come to own up that is behind the crisis by implication of what he has said. It's no more speculation, it's no more allegation that is the one that is behind it. He has come open to say that. Then this is one critical challenge in leadership when it comes to the black man. Look at the thinking. You have served as governor of this state for 8 years. And it is important that you give way. And that is what we see in internal crimes. And that is how society grows. You were not elected ab initio as an emperor or a monarch. That you must remain there. There is a constitutional limitation to the time frame you have to govern the state. And when that elapses, their successor is sworn in. He takes over the apparatus of government and governance and must be without any kind of interference. What kind of political structure and interest that you want to maintain in perpetuity? I think, too, I also want to disagree that it's party affairs. No. Election has been conducted, in fact, it has come and gone. It is not state affairs because it is not the state. The structure of the state is not anybody's personal structure or personal enterprise. It's not anybody's father's company. We all own stake to the development of the state, whether you are government or government. We are interested, we are not robots, we are not maroons that because you're a governor, you begin to push every member of the society the way you want. He's now a Federal Capital Territory Minister. And is it not a distraction that you are called to serve as a minister? And two, you are also trying to superintend over the affairs of the state, even when you are let off office. How can you perform? How can you deliver? You can't serve two masters at. Either you take one or the other. What I want to say is this. Whatever the insinuations, whether it's 20 billion or whatever and all those stuff, what really necessitated within the period of 5 months that will warrant that kind of malfeasance on the part of Fubara to be pitched. I am not his fan, I am not his supporter, I am of the Labour Party, and we are in court with him. It's still, the matter of the election is still in court. But what we are saying is this: we must have to maintain sanity in our conduct, in the conduct of our relations, our relationship in the affairs of the state. Whatever that is wrong, we must say it is wrong. Whatever it is right, we say it is right. Bible says, he that sees evil and says is good, woe to that person. And he that sees evil and say, who that sees good and says evil, woe to that person. So when once something is bad, let us join hands together and say it is not right. So I cannot say, if you are serving notice to Fubara, what does that notice contain? What has it done between May 29th and now that warrant the impeachment? And what has Fubara done to destroy your structure? You influence almost 100% of the appointments of commissioners. The chief of staff, the man was not even allowed to hire a house girl or a house boy. All the members of House of Assembly, you influence them. All the local government chairmen are presently constituted, you influence them. So which structure again are you talking? You know, are you not saying that you impose a puppet on the people of River State that must not have his brain and mind together to either govern the state, except what he dictated to him? I believe that I don't know who really advised him. The speech he made, for me, it is quite pediatric. The speech he made, and when I listened to that speech, I said, I played it again to know whether it's the one talking. Because, you see, a statesman must have a language, a healing language, a language that will really provide that kind of, at least somehow mitigate every frayed nerves in the state, but not this kind of speech. This kind of speech, and the two, let us emphasize this thing. The black man should stop this mentality that you handed over to somebody does not mean that that person is subservient to you. That person is answerable to you. That person is accountable to you. It is wrong. When you go to America and all those European countries, when somebody leaves the presidency, when somebody lives as governor, he lives a private life and does not really delegate whoever that is succeeding him. And this is where I listen when even the people who was addressing in that interview, whether it's Sassat, whatever, some of them were laughing. You can imagine the kind of stupidity, the kind of low mental
language, please.
The kind of low mental disposition that we espouse because of Like Alfred Babalola has said, politics is the only lucrative industry, and everybody want to position himself. If not, this action that happened in Rivers State on Monday ought to be condemned by everybody. Ought to be condemned by everybody. But I will advise Fubara, if it's like a jailbreak. It's like a jailbreak. And other inmates in that prison that also escaped with him. If he allows him to be rearrested by all these rapprochements and all those things, if he's rearrested, the second affliction he will suffer, nobody will be with him. Let him stand firm now with Rivers people, and let Rivers people stand firm with him to move this state forward. That this state must not be under the bondage, under the ambit of one person.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. You know, the issue of governors who are about to leave office, picking on a candidate and selling the candidate 100% to judges of a state, it seems to be something that calls for some level of concern, because seeing how it plays out, rumor, there is some level of truth in it. There could be something that the governor actually expects from the incumbent governor right now, and because there is some level of misunderstanding, this could be, is it right to say that could be the reason why we experienced what happened on Monday?
Well, it could be third from his statement, but the governor has not really come out clearly to say maybe there are certain interests, certain demands he has not met, but then there's no smoke without fire. And if something is allowed to trend in whatever platform, whether social media, and it is not a kind of denied or whatever, it could be taken as truth. It could be taken as truth. The interest we are talking about, what is that interest? Is it your personal interest or the interest of the people of Rivers State? And if it's the interest of the people of Rivers State, we should make input in such interest. If it's your personal interest, what is that personal interest? The Governor Fubara should come out clear. He has come out now to say that structure and interest, that what politics. See how we define politics. Politics is based on your own understanding, what you want to get from it and what you don't want to get from it. The structure I want to maintain and the structure I don't want to maintain. Is that not quite too primitive definition of politics? Looking at it from the prism of your self-benefit, self-aggrandizement, and that is patently wrong and condemnable.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's get straight to the next conversation. We have this coming from the Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed says President Bola Tinubu has intervened in the political crisis in Rivers State between the sitting governor Siminalayi Fubara and the former governor of the state, and now Federal Capital Territory Minister. The People's Democratic Party Governors Forum chairman, who spoke with journalists on Tuesday at the presidential villa, said, "We had a closed session. You will recall, members of the press, where a very serious national issue was discussed that has security implications. That is the problem emerging in Rivers," he said. Mr. President, in his usual leadership position, intervened, and it would appear there will be peace in that respect. All right, we have this to also, it's a cue from what we just discussed. And then the president actually waded into this matter. Is it actually supposed to go as far as it should be to quell the whole situation?
You know, when it's a intervention, I don't know the extent the parties maybe have accepted such intervention. Nothing is quite clear, because the more you look, the less you see in situations like this. Two, the damage has been done. And everybody has whatever he wants to do in his mind. I may not want to express it to the public. I don't think that battle is over. It's politics. There are also other interests in it other than the president. Yes, for the security implication, his intervention to some extent is understandable because this thing is now beginning to wear ethnic coloration. I hope you are getting my point. So, and that, if it's allowed to fester, could snowball to something that we may not have control over. But politically, this is where I see the weakness of PDP. Even the statement issued by their governors, the PDP Governors Forum, appear to be so weak, so beggarly, so timid. If they see Fubara as their own, is to rally around him, to give him more oxygen, to stand. I have not seen clear intervention from PDP or owning this guy as their own, and this man will be energized to stand firm. Are they still afraid of the former governor, yes, on weekend, the FCT minister, who is neither in PDP or APC now? So I can really not understand.
Dr. Widima, you just made a very interesting statement. How would you say the former governor of Rivers State is neither in APC nor PDP? He's still a member of PDP. Isn't that why Bala Mohammed and all of these people are speaking for him?
Look, if he's a member of the PDP and the role he has played so far, the party cannot reign on him to at least bring it to order.
But that's on the party. How is he on him?
Even
the party, if he has done something that is anti-party and antithetical to what the PDP is, that for isn't it the PDP's responsibility as a party?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying now. But dancing around him is a weakling position. That's allowing him. They would have come out to condemn this action in Rivers State first and foremost, and whoever is behind it.
Maybe he's a beautiful bride that they don't want to lose.
Then that is the problem I'm saying now. That is why I'm saying that the statement they issue is so weakly, because that man, as we know, that is the perception of the public. It's neither here nor there. It's creating more problem for PDP. From the time he lost out from the presidential primaries, and they fought everything to ensure that the party goes down. And yet, you cannot say, look, Vivian, we saw the politics of the Second Republic. There's what we call party discipline. And no member of the party, including the president, the party is more powerful and higher than any individual. When in MPN, Shehu Shagari was the president of this country, Adisa Akinloye was the chairman of MPN, national chairman. He was a very powerful chairman. That he and the chairman of the party is the leader of the party. This thing we are not seeing now that president is the leader, governor is the leader. No, that is outside the principle of party structure. The leader of the party is the chairman of the party at the national level. At the state, the chairman of the party at the state level. And the president of the governor will sit next to the chairman and will only make contribution like any other member of the party. But the reverse is the case today. And that is why we have strong individuals, strong humans, persons. The institution is so weak. And that thing plays down on every aspect of our national life. Even our laws are weak, while individuals are more powerful than our laws. And no society move forward in such environment. No. Such things do not engender appropriate development. And that is why an individual that has that war chest can play God and want to own everybody. And must one way or the other. And that's why they can't come out to condemn some of these things. Because they receive one form of largesse or the other from River State when Wike was governor. And you know, he so this thing that does not hide anything. If he just attack you, we just tell you what he gave to you.
But you see, I keep saying it. Hate Wike or like Wike. Wike is Wike. He doesn't pretend about
everybody is everybody. You Vivian, you are Vivian. Eh?
You can pretend.
No.
No. Dr. Udima, you see me and you will argue this to see former governor of River State. Like him or hate him, touch him like this, he will tell you exactly how he feels.
Then yes, it can.
Isn't that a good thing?
No.
Against all the odds they may be against him.
Look, you see, the Bible tells us about wisdom.
Protect their own interests and their structure.
And that is why. And that is why. Yeah, and that is why.
I know he's already planning to make sure President Tinubu wins in 2027.
Yeah, you see, this is exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Until the people realize their position, and that is where it is quite challenging. The people have not realized. They are like watchers, speculators.
Okay. So
you know,
someday when the people realize, but I think right now it's working for him.
Yeah, because that's how the society is structured.
But okay, they didn't structure the society.
No. There is the society. Listen, we must get this clear, and that's why some of us are so worried. The society is structured to promote the bad ones over the good ones. That's how the society is.
We agree, but it's not Wike that made the society the way the society.
We are not saying that it's the political class that made it.
He's just one.
It's the political class that made it. And it will be worse. It will be worse if this thing is not stopped. It will be worse going forward.
Who is going to stop it?
Eh?
Who is going to
the
stop
people.
It? Who are the people?
The people, the masses of this country.
The politicians not part of the people.
What is that? The politicians have placed themselves. They have placed themselves as slave masters.
The baby they learned from the wife. Let's get to Imo State. Nigeria Supreme Court have deferred till December 5th the hearing of an appeal seeking to invalidate the years that Senator Hope Uzodinma. Now, Imo State Governor spent in office as the Imo State Governor. The appeal that has been there over 3 years at the Apex Court was initially fixed for a hearing on Tuesday. However, the proceeding could not hold as the court officials merely informed the parties that the hearing had been postponed to December 5th, 2023. However, the All Progressive Grand Alliance in their applications seeking to remove Governor Hope Uzodinma head of the People's Democratic Party, for the PDP. Now, according to ABGA, in the eyes of the law, the absence of a duly and validly nominated sponsored by a candidate sponsored by a political party as a constitutional precedent has made it imperative for INEC to conduct a fresh election in Imo State. This according to counsel to the applicant, Mr. S.I. Nwanko. Over 3 years after the petition was filed, the Apex Court communicated the initial hearing date to the parties through a notice dated October 16, 2023, which was signed by one of its registrars, Usman Baturi. The PDP and the Action People's Party also filed fresh appeals, wherein they urged the Supreme Court to give effect to its 2019 verdict qualified Uche Wonsum on the ground that he was nominated by both AA and APC. On its part, PDP is asking the Apex Court to restore its candidates, Ihejoha, back to office since the APC was precluded from sponsoring 2 candidates in Imo State governorship election. But somehow, we're all waiting for this appeal court ruling, Supreme Court ruling, for somehow they decided to shift it to December 5th because the way, from what the legal pundits have explained, the lawyers and all of that said, this ought to even affect Ozodinma's not even staying off. Well, stay in office, but at least
election next month, this month, I think.
Yeah, but somehow this,
and they sat on it because Hope Uzodinma is a member of the ruling party, and that is what our court do. No more justice in the land, and these are giving leeways to the politicians to behave the way they behave, even to INEC to behave the way they behave. Now you are not taking this matter to December, when the election will be conducted this month, and that election is conducted, and Hope Uzodinma happens to win the election. What is the validity or the judgment you are going to give in December? Not even judgment, they say it's hearing in December. You know, have you not somehow sent a message to the parties that your matter is destroyed already? I think most Nigerians should be concerned as I'm concerned. Our institutions has somehow collapsed. Judiciary, if from 1999, despite the so-called ambiguity in our electoral laws and our constitution, Supreme Court, that ought to be a policy court also, would have helped to sentence as a kind of law that will help to develop our political system, and this they are lacking. Common sense. I mean, for the past 3 years, this thing was filed. Why is it that the hearing is even coming up now?
But P2B actually had the same experience. P2B with
no, they are not the same. They are not the same. This guy is going to election. Yeah, this one is going to election in the next 10 days. And
that wasn't an election matter, it was a different issue.
Exactly.
But I'm talking about the time frame, the period it took for...
No, that's why I say it's a different decision from this. Okay. You know?
The concern is that these people are going into election. And they needed the Supreme Court, who had already given a date for 16th
to make a pronouncement
and then
before the election.
To yesterday and comes up with the fact that they're shifting to 5th of
December. And all our, you have sent a message that it's a dead case.
And there was even no hearing. They said it was the court official, the registrars that informed the parties to the case.
You know? So, you see, that is the problem with our institution. I say the society, the system have developed very strong bases and weakened the laws. And also weaponize poverty that the people are also weak to rise against them.
Let's get into Bayelsa State. The Independent National Electoral Commission on Tuesday said it will obey Supreme Court's judgment validating the candidate of All Progressive Congress, Chief Timothy Silva, participation in the November 11 elections. According to INEC President Electoral Commission in Bayelsa State, Mr. Obo Efanga, at the stakeholders meeting convened in Abuja by the Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room, he said, we have to ensure that we obey every court order on the matter on whether Silva would be restored as a candidate for the election. He said that would be taken care of, according to. Now, but you see, the concern with the position taken here now by Obo Efanga is that it's similar to the position he took about the use of beavers and or not use of beavers. He said they were not going to use beavers for transmission. And then Professor Mahmoud comes into a briefing at some point and said, no, disregard what he said, and all of that. Again, this question, the court ruling was yesterday. This question, because in that court ruling, Justice Zubairi didn't actually say Silva should be, from what I read, she only concentrated on the fact that
the person who sued.
Yeah, the person who sued, and they're having grounds for this that, but mainly saying that the Federal High Court that ruled that Silva is not a candidate does not have jurisdiction to oversee that matter. So, but now that Alboy Fanga is saying, well, he's going to be there, it will be taken care of. Are we now going to say, okay, the idea of swearing in someone 3 times for the same, taking oath of office 3 times, but as that is against the grand norm, the Constitution, that is no longer of effect?
I think there are 2 things here. The Electoral Act, like the person who sued, by the Electoral Act, I think he has no right to do that because he was not party to that primary. He did not contest the primary. But then, it is also a weapon against APC by the other opponents. If eventually Silva wins, it will be a ground of petition also in terms of qualification. They may contest that up to Supreme Court to interpret because the Constitution gives a limit of 8 years. And if it's allowed and he wins the election, it does mean serving another 4 years plus 5 years he has served before. It runs contrary to the grains of the Constitution. And may also be sworn in the 3rd time. And that's where the opposition party will be waiting. It's not at this stage. The one that just happened is like an internal nomination issue and all those things. The person who went there, according to the Electoral Act anyway, because if not for the Electoral Act, a citizen of Bayelsa has the right to go and seek the court pronouncement over such position in law. Now, the PDP will not say anything. Labour Party will not say anything. Other parties will not say anything until the outcome of the election. If at the end of the day, APC wins, that will be a ground to challenge the election. And if our judicial system is the kind of one people have confidence in, what happened to APC in 2019 will repeat itself. And I don't know why APC did not really cross their T's properly and dot their I's properly in the choice of their candidate, knowing full well that there are implications in his choice as I'll be given the ticket to fly. It's not yet Huru for APC and Silva.
All right, so now, other things being equal, Chief Timmy Pre-Silva coming back into the game, is this supposed to be a kind of challenge? Is it enough to be a serious concern for the sitting governor?
Yeah, why not? Because, most of the politicians, when they are going to office or contest the election, especially when their party has the control of the federal might, they go with a enhanced mindset to do whatever they can do to get the power. And that has been encouraged by the incumbent president, Bola Tinubu. The power is not gotten a la carte. He should grab it and run with it and run away with it. In other words, he can use federal might to replicate what he did sometime in Southern Nigeria, where a lot of problems were created and all those stuff. He is one of the politicians that it's like politics is a do or die affair. So there, when you talk of challenge, that's why the challenge will be coming. Your attitude, the attitude of the person, wanting to unseat the incumbent by using his federal might if Bola Tinubu is behind him. And you see, look at the political behavior and disposition of the president. He wants to expand the coast. And who knows, he will somehow discreetly support such strategy to also capture Bayelsa State. You don't trust the club of politicians we have. There's no sanity in them. All of them. There's no sanity. There's no sanity to say, look, let people be free to make their choices. And this is where we see what is going to play out in Bayelsa. The election with all this contradictory decision of INEC. We use beaver to RF, we not use beaver, and all these are pathways to rigging elections.
Yeah, we'll just take a short break, everyone. When we come back, the Independent National Electoral Commissioner, National Assembly are assuring Nigerians of friendly elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states. We'll come back to you.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. The POS operator, she said 3,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Credible elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states. The decision was reached during the inaugural meeting of the Senate and House of Representatives Committees on Electoral Matters at the meeting held in Abuja on Monday, where the INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, Chairman Senate Committee on IT States, and assured that the Commission was ready to collaborate with the National Assembly and other relevant stakeholders toward ensuring improved electoral process in the country. Ali, in his remarks, charged the INEC to do all within its capabilities to ensure the elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi are credible, adding that the meeting was aimed at discussing important matters concerning INEC's activities and preparations for the forthcoming elections in the three states. While the Ninth Assembly had set a high standard for the committee, especially with regards to the passage of the Electoral Act 2022 and the Electoral Offences Commission Establishment Bill 2022. This is supposed to actually mean some level of seriousness and some level of extra preparations from what we had in the February-March elections. I wonder why we're actually seeing something that is looking quite encouraging from INEC and all of that, just with respect to these elections that are coming. Are we to say that this is to correct the mess we experienced in February-March elections?
Well, all is emotions without movement. Nothing is different from what they have done before. From the time this INEC chairman was appointed till now, is what we're hearing is like a refrain. It's a sing song that comes up every election season. Want to improve? We're going to do it better this time. And that day, the election in Nigeria is not conducted to be successful. And when you talk of this INEC, have you also put a searchlight on the security agents, the army, the civil defense, the police? Because when you talk of these compromises, it's just like a court activity where a direction they must go. And both Kogi, Imo State, including Bayelsa, they are not states. We are seeing what is going on, what are going on in these states. The character of some of the political gladiators in these states, and all is towards violence. He's talking of electoral offences bill that have been there even before they passed the 2022 Electoral Act. Up to today, they've not passed it. It's still a bill. Because any politician can do anything using any talk and they go away with it. No law brings them to justice. No law makes them to account. No law holds them responsible. INEC that is also giving this contradictory, anybody who is putting their trust in this INEC as presently constituted, I believe that person It's like coming from the moon. That's my own thinking. INEC has never given hope to the people of this nation since the past 8 years. This present INEC as presently led by Mahmoud Yakubu. I hope there will be no glitches that day. I hope there will be no carrying like what happened in the last election where the beavers were also hijacked. You know, where it's say election will be transmitted and on real time, people will view it in the RF and it never happens. Another disease say, look, collation will be by manual. And the manual result must match with that is transmitted. It is neither here nor there. Anybody who is expecting better performance from INEC in this coming election is coming either from the moon or is coming from the Mars, but not living in Nigeria. If the person is living in Nigeria, and you don't want to give yourself hypertension, take your mind out of what is going to go on in these 3 states.
Well, speaking of trust, where INEC is and what not, the People's Democratic Party Governors Forum, following its emergency meeting in Abuja on Tuesday, deliberated on issues of concern to the forum, the People's Democratic Party, and the nation, and reached conclusions in a communique delivered by Bauchi State Governor. They also deliberated on the feuding party members in Rivers State to shoot their swords and let peace reign. Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State and chairman of the forum, the PDP Governors Forum, in the meeting which held at the Oyo State Governors Lodge, Asokoro, Abuja, said the forum deliberated on issues of concern to the forum, the People's Democratic Party, and the nation, and reached the following conclusions. The PDP Governors Forum were alarmed at the recent orders it platform for quick and just containment of the issues involved. The meeting noted that the recent judgment of the Supreme Court on the 2023 presidential election and believes that this brings an end to the presidential election cycle, as there must be an end to litigation. Mohammed said, as a forum, we believe and restate our faith and confidence in the judiciary to do justice in political and other cases before the courts. We are concerned that while the Supreme Court has laid down precedent on pre-election issues, the PDP candidates in Plateau States are being disqualified on the same grounds. We urge the judiciary at the apex level to ensure that our jurisprudence is not distorted. We remain vigilant in the struggle for democracy and good governance in Nigeria. On the national economy, the meeting urgently requested the patriotic intervention of the federal government to stabilize the naira, control inflation, stem the unemployment crisis, and bring more support to Nigerians. The meeting vowed to reposition and strengthen the PDP as a viable opposition political party, ready and willing to play its role as the vanguard of the Nigerian people for democracy, good governance, and accountability. The PDP governors congratulated the hosts, His Excellency Governor Sheyi Makinde, for his hospitality in hosting the meeting. We'll bring you a bit of a track up. Come back to you after that.
The presidential election cycles, and there must be an end to litigation. As a forum, we believe and state our faith and confidence in the judiciary and to do justice in political and other cases before the courts. We are concerned that while the issues PDP candidates, we are concerned that while the Supreme Court has laid down precedents on pre-election issues, PDP candidates in Plateau State have been disqualified on the same grounds. We urge the judiciary at the apex level to ensure that our jurisprudence is not distorted. We remain vigilant in the struggle for democracy and good governance in the country. 2. The meeting vowed to reposition and strengthen PDP as a viable opposition political party, ready and winning its role, alarmed at the recent developments in Rivers, and welcomes the intervention of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to bring the crisis to an end. The meeting urged all parties to the crisis to seize their sword and sought peaceful means of resolution. The forum further offered its platform for the quick and just containment of the issues involved. Number 4, on the national economy, the meeting urgently requested the patriotic intervention of the federal government to stabilize the naira, control inflation, and stem the unemployment crisis and bring more succor to Nigerian people. Lastly, the PDP governors thank the governor of Oyo State, His Excellency Sheyi Makinde, for his hospitality in hosting this meeting. Thank you very much.
PDP Governors Forum correctly. They report their confidence in Nigeria judiciary, but at the same time warning them about distorting judgments. What they allowed in this, what did not allow in Supreme Court in the Supreme Court appeal for the national president allowed in Plateau or vice versa, in the party to have a viable opposition. How do you, in one breath, your presidential candidate just came out days ago to talk about issues, to speak on the conference, to talk about issues surrounding that was yesterday, that was 2 days ago, sorry, to talk about issues surrounding his position on the Supreme Court's ruling and all of that. And now you basically want to build a formidable opposition, and you're basically countering him on what he said, and the same breath pointing out an error done in one of the judgments. What exactly was supposed to make out of this meeting and the communique?
You see, the political class in Nigeria, that's why no party has its own. There's no clear cut. In fact, there's no ideology. They are all in different platforms with different names, but the same character, the same people, who their common interest is how to appropriate and misappropriate our common patrimony. It's how they cannot provide any viable opposition. In fact, they don't know what opposition party, the role of opposition party in a democratic setup. If we are running democracy anyway, there's no democracy, just civilian administration we are witnessing in this country. There's no democracy. There's absence of rule of law. There's absence of political discipline, ideology, and manifesto. There's absence of, a clear-cut pathway that a political party is charting to plead the welfare of the people. So this statement shows that it is business as usual. Everything about the election petition is gone. Let us come together. But in coming together, if it were in the Second Republic, let me tell you what is happening in River State. The party wouldn't even have allowed Fubara to go and visit Tinubu. They would have called him. They would have called Wike to look at it. And the other party, maybe the party in power, will also be watching at that. Sam Bakwe, when he was governor of Imo State, Sam Bakwe ran Imo State as if it was a country of his own. And the president, except you are welcome by the governor of the state, the president, who is another party in the DC, if you are not welcome, you don't have business going to that state. And that's how you build democracy, strengthen democracy. Everyone should know its limit. Even judiciary that is giving conflicting judgment on the same issue. Vivian, will have a Supreme Court that decided the issue of the 12% FCT. And the same Supreme Court, the Scantana experiencing that precedent, that interpretation before now. And you are not angry with such. I am only assuaged by the valedictory speech of Musa Muhammad, Honorable Justice Musa, retired now, where he said the judiciary looked up to and joined some years ago is not the same that is living. There is fit in the judiciary. And they talked about even recruitment within the judiciary and all those things. I said that, so I made reference to the former Senate President.
It will backfire. Wike campaigned for Fubara and claimed he was the best among all the candidates for the governorship election. But suddenly Fubara is now his enemy because Fubara is no longer taking directive from him, being a dictator who is after Rivers' money. The former deputy spokesperson said governors, irrespective of party affiliation, should support Fubara. Okay, this is a bit too much somehow, but concise. So according to Timi Frank, if Wike loves Tinubu, he should resign from the PDP and join the APC. And that if Tinubu is not careful, Wike is going to make people dislike him and, of course, destroy his government, ultimately jeopardize his 2027 chance. I'd like to leave this on your desk.
You know, the parties, when you talk of national or federal level, I'm so worried because of some characters that people, the executive, because that is the mirror with which the outside world see Nigeria. And I want to say this. We have not escaped, despite the Supreme Court judgment, we have not escaped from certain perception from the international community concerning the Bola Tinubu and the Chicago issue. No. And he said the Supreme Court judgment did also not say he did not commit that action. So the issue is that wicked action, that is he should be advised to be a bit diplomatic in his approach to his job. Right. You know,
play around that position as it should affect Tinubu's administration 2027. Is that not supposed to be political? Because that position actually demands some level of action, and Nyesom Wike fits that position. So how can that actually be a problem?
Any action you want to espouse should be action that will leave the welfare, the welfare of the people. That is the action everybody is demanding for. It's not demolishing and demolishing. You know,
it's not the first one to demolish.
Yeah, and all of them that demolished, how did they end?
Okay, now a quick one. Do you think that, in respect to what Timi Frank have said, that the impact of Wike's action is going to rub off negatively on the president, his administration, and maybe his 2027 ambition? Do you think?
I don't even see it from that perspective.
Do you think that Wike's alleged interference with the Rivers State governor impacts Tinubu's administration, and that could be the reason why Tinubu had to intervene immediately in the issue?
Yeah, it will shock if I made this statement. In the right sense, Wike did not deliver Rivers State for Tinubu in last election.
Those allegations, let's not go into that now. In terms of his action as an FCT minister. In
terms of his action as about the issue in Rivers State and not those
things. Because Wike said that one of the things that nobody can threaten him, and he doesn't take that.
Whether he's threatened or not, whether Tinubu intervenes or not, one, we don't know how the next election, because people are not happy.
The FCT minister is the ongoing administration now.
Why not? It will, because let me tell you about the issue of Fubara. Rivers people are united though. They are united, no matter the political affiliation. They are united is like, you know, trying to take away this overbearing influence from the state. They are united around Fubara.
From Rivers people, is that a way of saying we don't want this godfatherism thing in government anymore?
Definitely.
So if the fight should continue, if he insists on having his way, like he said, he doesn't take threats. Nobody can threaten him. If he insists on having his way, and the people of Rivers State continue to resist him, is this going to affect his relationship with the president and all the presidents?
Well, that is within the distance. We don't know whether it will affect the relationship because Bola Tinubu also did what he is doing now in Lagos State.
Ah, okay.
Yes. The way and manner he also removed the Ambode, not completely is this thing. They have, the president also had the tendency that, yes, so we can trying to replicate. And these are people who don't care about certain things. There are some similarities that we can really, but the point there is that whether it will affect this thing with Rivers people are not quite putting their mind towards Tinubu. The only thing now is how will Fubara liberate Rivers State from the stranglehold that Rivers State have been subjected into the last 8 years.
No, but you see the critical thing about the statement you just made, Dr. Bidima, is this. While Stimi Frank may be looking at this from what will happen to the president and his 2027 ambition or his administration in the present, Rivers State, as we speak, have lost a state asset, which is the State House of Assembly. As we speak, we are yet to, as at the time of coming on air anyway, who is the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly right now? As we speak right now, you understand, the attack on the governor of Rivers State, we saw some actions being taken while he went to see the State Assembly complex, and several other issues that played out in the last few days. How do you